My name is Mohammed Oda, and I am the Youth Director here at Al-Hijrah. At the Al-Hijrah Youth Department, we do programming for young people as young as 3 and older folks as old as 40. So for the 3 to 5 age range, we have the Junior Journey. For the 6 to 12, we have the Junior Jummah. And then we have programs for the high schoolers and young adults, the Fast and Learn programs, Good Company, classes with Brother Sabri and Sheikh Shakir. And then we have programs that focus specifically on contentious topics that are plaguing the community based off of research and discussions that we've had with different young adults who voice concerns about things that they are having trouble reconciling with their faith, called the third rail, and that's what that particular event is designed for. We try to cover a couple areas with each program. So we want to have a social component, an interactive component. We also want to make sure that there's an educational component. And in terms of Islamic education, in an indirect way, we try to cover Islam, like the rituals of our tradition, Iman, like our faith, and then Ihsan, try to cultivate God consciousness. One thing we can see is that like Muslims in the United States, and this is something you find not just with Muslims, but like different minority groups, is that there's pressure from mainstream culture that oftentimes doesn't value their narrative. And as a result of that, you find the youth in our community and also young professionals and young adults struggling to hold on to their tradition, oftentimes being socially pressured. So the Prophet ﷺ is reported to have said that there'll come a time when holding on to our tradition will be like holding on to hot coals. And we look at research that is done by the Pew Research Center, where about close to 25% of people who are born Muslim are leaving the tradition. And so that is the reality that we're dealing with. And that's exactly why programs that we do with the youth and through Al-Hijrah are very important, so that they're not afraid to be Muslim. They're not afraid to say that my name is Muhammad. And that hopefully that we create a place in the masjid that is something that they grow up having fond memories of. I know that the programs are having an impact. You can see like the youth are very much like interested in the class, and they love coming. I remember one of the brothers in the community mentioning how when he was growing up, a punishment was when his parents told him, you cannot go to the Friday night program, or you can't go to the Saturday night program at the masjid because you didn't do X, Y, and Z. And you see that these kids, like, this is like a continuation of that. Like, they love being in the community and participating in these programs. The reality is that if we do not create a place for the youth, if we're not doing programs for the youth, if we're not making that connection with the youth, they're going to be making that connection outside of the community in other places, and those places will be detrimental, undoubtedly. That's part of the reason why we want to make sure that even with our programs, we want to make it a place where they want to come and they feel this very fond memory, but we also want to make sure that we are educating them and creating a series of programs so that they are empowered. Because one of the strongest ways to rid doubt is with knowledge. And that's another component that we're working hard to instill in the youth. Quickly, we're working on establishing a pop-up coffee shop, which will be a way to teach the youth entrepreneurialism, how to start businesses, and also a way to generate money for the youth. Many of the youth are asking for job opportunities, so we're showing them how to create jobs, and also we'll with the support of the community, we'll be able to provide employment for the youth with this project. We're also looking at renovating the basement, or what we call the youth lounge, so that we can have a library, board games, get a projector for movie nights as well as for documentaries, and to create an atmosphere so that the youth and young adults will use this youth lounge as a place where they can just come and study, do homework, and socialize, and also like study the sacred sciences. To put it simply, it's my job to ask you. However, I know it's your pleasure and it's your honor to provide and continue to support this community. And I say continue because the reason why we are here today is because you have been supporting us. So we're not asking you to start supporting us. We're asking you to continue. We're asking you to increase your support, especially during this tough time with COVID-19, and especially with this coming blessed month of Ramadan. We ask that you support the youth at Al-Hijrah.